This is a romance novel starring Harley Quinn. I got it as a joke. I thought it would be hilarious to make a bunch of Harley Quinn jokes in this review. Sadly, the book's so bad, it's not worth the effort.
Argo Font Book Review, Argo Font Book Review.
Shelley Columbine is 17 years old. She has old-fashioned ideas about love. She doesn't fit in with her condescending cousins, who say things like, "Stop being so boring, Shelley. It's the 1970s now. There's nothing more to life than going to parties and getting drunk every night." Shelley's cousins kick her out of the apartment so their boyfriends can move in. The boys are kind enough to find her a cheap place to stay at Silver Lane Mansions. She moves in only to discover the situation is a cruel prank. The house belongs to a man named Harley Quinn. I did not understand this joke. I had to look it up. The joke is that Columbine and Harlequin are characters in a Christmas play, which stopped performing in England about 40 years before the book was written. Not a very topical reference. Harley is 34 years old, which is twice as old as Shelley. The large age gap between them ruins the romance, especially because she's so immature. She acts like she's 12. She constantly breaks into tears and stammering because she's too flustered to talk around an older man. He teases her by calling her a baby and a child. It would be okay if Shelley regained her composure after a while, but she never does. She cries and gets emotional the entire book, even after they're married. She throws a fit because, oh no, she ordered a sherry instead of a brandy. Why didn't she order the adult drink? Harley's gonna hate her forever. That is the book's problem. The romantic leads are a terrible couple. She's incredibly immature and acts like a baby. He treats her like an annoying younger cousin who he has to put up with due to family obligation. Mostly he avoids her. They see each other once a week at most. Shelley's forced to stay at Harley's place because the plot demands it, and she can't find a different place to live. One day, Shelley's walking home from the bus station when a man starts following her. She tries to run away. He chases after her. She panics. She's rescued when Harley arrives in a car, and the man leaves. This kickstarts the romance for her. Shelley decides this is what she's waited for her whole life. This is love. Harley's cousin Pamela comes to visit. Pamela is 16, and honestly, she's way more mature than Shelley. Shelley's Aunt Lou comes to visit as well. The meeting is fine, but it makes Harley realize Shelley should probably move somewhere else. Shelley throws a fit. Harley calms her down by taking her to dinner, where he asks her to marry him. You heard me correctly. 17-year-old Shelley goes on a date for the very first time in her life, and she's getting married. The proposal comes out of nowhere, because he is still treating her like a little kid who has to be told what to do all the time. There's a chapter which rushes through the engagement and wedding prep. The day before the wedding, Shelley falls downstairs and breaks her arm. That means they cannot do any adult activities on their honeymoon. I saw one reviewer say, it feels like the author was too afraid to write a sex scene, so she went out of her way to avoid one. I'm inclined to agree, but it's possible the author just wanted to give Shelley something new to agonize over. Shelley spends like 20 pages the entire honeymoon complaining, "Oh, my arm's useless, my life is terrible." Drama comes in the form of Harley's ex-girlfriend, Myra. Myra is a gorgeous movie star. She's mean and selfish. She openly admits she wants Harley back. Even though she's a terrible person, she still acts like far more of an adult than Shelley does. Shelley hides behind the door and spies on Myra instead of actually talking to her. Shelley worries that Harley will leave her. Harley tries to calm her down by talking about all the women he's been engaged to. Yes, there's more than one. You should have told Shelley about this before they got married. Harley makes a point of the fact that he is 17 years older than her, so of course he has more romantic experience. Thanks for reminding me that the relationship is creepy. This is followed by an uncomfortable scene where Shelley visits the closest thing she has to a father figure. He says she's being silly, and Harley should spank her until she stops worrying about their marriage. The next day, Shelley's cast is removed. She gets a phone call from Harley's sister, who says Harley went to Myra and started screaming at her. I wish we could have seen that scene. Shelley fusses over what intimate clothing she should wear that night. She talks with Harley once he gets home. It's heavily implied that they go all the way, as the book puts it. The end. Post-book follow-up. Well, that book was terrible. The two leads have no chemistry together. Shelley's so immature, it's hard to picture her with anybody. I have no idea why Harley wants to marry her. He doesn't seem to like her at all. Even after they get married, he's pretty distant and condescending. The book is fairly slow and boring. I gave up trying to read the whole thing about halfway through. I skimmed through the final part for this review, and I don't regret it. Myra's brief appearance is the only thing of note in the final 50 pages. The book was first published in England by Mills and Boon in 1970. Harlequin Enterprises bought the company the following year. They reprinted the book under the title Trust in Tomorrow. That title doesn't fit, but I guess Harlequin didn't want to publish a book with Harley Quinn in the title. Overall, it's not good. I guess I should not be surprised that a gimmick title did not lead to a good romance novel. Do yourself a favor and skip this one. I give Harlequin 1536, Miss Columbine and Harley Quinn a 1 out of 10.